couple of weeks ago, I decided it was time to continue playing with trees, trying to get over my fear of trees in my pursuit to learn freestyle. So I was playing mainly with this oak tree. I do clip it just here. But overall, yeah, having a lot of fun. On the next flight, after a brief spiral down, I decided to do a few fast passes over the top of the tree. And the first couple of passes were okay, but then the third one, well, for reasons I can't explain, I turned back really fast, really hard, really close to the tree, and can you guess what happens next? Yeah, straight in the top. This is it at full speed, so it happened quite quickly. I certainly wasn't able to react. And there we are, stuck somewhere in the oak tree. After a bit of a think, I realised I had nothing to lose by revving the engines to try and get out of the tree. Initially it moved a little bit, and after that not much happened. Well, I found out later, look, there goes one of the props. Two of the props were simply unwinding as I was trying to shake the thing out of the tree, so that was two of them gone. Another one's broken off, so it wasn't really going to go anywhere. It's why the amps also are not very high. Just listen to these horrible noises. Well, that's quite enough of that. Over to me from the past.
Well, it's up there somewhere. There's Ripper, 200 quid's worth of quality components. We spent ages going around, can't even see where it is. Battery's now exhausted. And I'll come back tonight and see if I can see a flashing light on the lost model buzzer, see how high up it is, but basically I'm fucked. Bit more horror movie stuff. Okay, so now I pretty much know where it is. I'll take this from a couple of angles, but my god, it's right near the top.
To confirm the worst, I went back the next morning with my Mavic Pro, and yeah, well, the worst was confirmed. It took a while actually with the big monitor to spot it, but have you seen it yet? For the first rescue attempt, Martin kindly agreed to climb the tree for me.
No way I do this, no way.
It wasn't safely possible to get high enough, so we did try these long poles. They go up to 60 foot when you put them all together, but they just bent uncontrollably. We just couldn't use them. There was no way to poke the quad down with those. I was hoping the strong winds over the next few days would blow it out, but they didn't, as you can see from this evening long exposure Mavic photograph. So we decided maybe to try hooking it out with the Mavic. But worried we may catch the hook in the tree and lose the Mavic, we used these components to make a remote hook release so we could at least dump any hook or rope that we were carrying. Roger made me a nice box so it would exactly fit onto the belly of the Mavic, and here we go. Works really well. Okay, here goes the Mavic with the hook. Sorry for the few blurry clips that we have. Initially, it was all looking like it was going to be pretty good. We moved slowly into position using an iPad to help really see what the Mavic could see with the camera down. And here we go, you can see the drone, we can see the hook. You can also see I apparently am not doing a very good job. Well, we had it in tripod mode, it should have been very easy to maneuver into position. But it kept going left and right and just couldn't get the hook close enough to even drop the hook down the last few feet. In the end, we realized it was probably the lower sensors of the Mavic which I'd forgotten to disable. So in the end, we had to give that up as a bad job. However, Jim managed to capture this photo with an extremely long lens, which was my first real look, and I can certainly see one bent motor shaft, one broken motor shaft, and most of the missing propellers, but the rest seems to be okay. That evening we returned with a recharged Mavic with the lower sensors taped over and disabled in the app and had another go. Unfortunately, we still had the same problem though. I was hooking only one thing, and that was the tree. In fact, we nearly had to use the emergency release. in the end, we decided the problem was most likely all this stuff hanging under the belly of the Mavic was simply fooling the sensors or equipment inside the Mavic, so it just couldn't hover stably. Sure enough, we took them off and it hovered perfectly. Next idea was to use the Mavic to lift a rope right over the tree and then shake the rope from either end. Now here you see a Mavic apparently moving a bit randomly, and it was moving randomly because although the rope didn't weigh too much, it was a windy day and the rope and the craft were all being dragged by the wind, and it was starting to need more motor speed than it actually had to do the job. So we had to emergency release the rope. Then I gained control and landed. Attempt 5 was the same, but to use the Mavic to get twine over the tree. There we go, there's the first attempt. And then use the twine to pull rope over. Well, we did it 3 times, and we pulled the rope over 3 times. Unfortunately, it was hard to get the rope in quite the right place. This third time was by far the nearest, but just before we were able to shake it loose, we ran out of time and the rope snapped. Well, after getting so close yet so far, we had 2 weeks of gales and howling winds up to 40 miles an hour. I went up this morning with my Mavic, took this photo, and on the photo you will see a complete absence of Ripper. So wondering if the wind had taken him, I actually headed out and had a walk.
As you can see, this is blowing out the tree, so it's certainly been blowing. I think the main problem is this very, very thick hedge with a ditch underneath. If it has dropped all the way out, it may well be in there. Anyway, I'm going to go and have a look. My goodness, I don't believe it. I do not believe it. There she is hanging like 2 foot up. I just electrocuted myself on the fence, but I really don't care. Right, I've got to get that without it dropping. Hang on. Oh, this is so cool. It all looks together. Motors look okay. I think all the receiver and stuff's still in the back. Everything seems to be there, obviously. No props. The battery seems to have fallen off during the fall from the tree. I was going to keep the connectors, but otherwise no real harm done. Oh wow, let's get it home and see what it's like. I'm so happy. After all these attempts, it just sort of falls out of the tree in the wind.
Well, I brought Ripper home, and after pulling him apart and doing a lot of testing on the bench, I'm pleased to say everything works. What I thought were broken motor shafts weren't. So it's literally a couple of prop nuts, and all the nuts that hold him together, they've gone a bit rusty. They do need to be swapped out. But otherwise, no, it's all absolutely fine. I'm really amazed to get it back. I just closed with these pictures of it going over the tree because, to be honest, I shan't be doing this again. So this is the last you're going to see of that. Thank you very much for watching. I know this was quite a long video.